Welcome back to the channel. It's Brandon here. Today I have another Janitor Answers Your Cleaning Questions video in store. I got a ton of great questions over on Instagram for this video, and I'm really excited to help you clean that up. So CE Wampler asks, dusting, which is better, furniture polish and a rag or a Swiffer duster wand? I'm gonna always go with a Swiffer duster wand. I just feel like they do a great job of picking up dust off the surface, but they don't leave anything behind as well. Now, anytime I've used furniture polish over the years, it works good for a while, but then over time, just repeated use, it starts to build up on the surface and just get sticky, and then you have to remove the furniture polish that you use to dust. So I feel like a Swiffer duster is just always the best way to go. Super Duper Jenny asks, what is the best way to get rid of mold or mildew that's trapped under caulk in my shower? Now, scrolling through these questions here, there's actually quite a few about mold and mildew in caulk in the shower. Unfortunately, I don't have a great cleaning answer for this. In my experience, it's best to re-caulk because once that mold and mildew gets behind the caulk there, it's really hard to get cleaners back there to completely remove it. And then it kind of starts to embed itself in the caulk and you're just better off just removing it, cutting it out, cleaning that area, and then re-caulking. Now, if you really don't want to cut it out, you can try white or cleaning vinegar. Vinegar does a little bit better job of killing that opposed to bleach. A lot of times bleach actually just aggravates mold and mildew. It will even turn it clear so you don't see it, so you think it's gone, but then it comes back even stronger and starts to spread and gets worse. So if possible, cut it out and re-caulk and just use a nice quality caulk that's gonna last a long time. Another quick tip with that too is when you cut it out and clean it, you can clean it like I said with the vinegar, but then let it dry really well. Put a fan on there, make sure there's no moisture trapped behind, re-caulk, and you should be good to go. iRod066 asks, have you tried all of Zeps products? I really like this question because I would say no. Probably about 80% of their products I have tried. There's a few blind spots. I will say they have a new glass cleaner that came out, I think a couple months ago. That is not only a glass cleaner, but it also has anti-fogging qualities. So if you use it in the bathroom, your mirror won't fog up after using it. I don't think it lasts forever. It's probably like for a few days of showering and things, but I'm excited to give that one a try. If you guys have tried that one, definitely drop a comment down below and let me know what you think. So at Sephora BB asks, how to remove crayon stains from walls. My two go-to products for this are either Zeps Foaming Wall Cleaner, does an amazing job of cleaning all sorts of things off your wall, or if that doesn't work, then I move over to a melamine or magic eraser sponge. Now I will say melamine and magic erasers are essentially just very, very fine sandpaper. So if you scrub really hard on the wall, you could possibly remove the paint. So just be careful and be mindful of that. Usually I just get them damp and just lightly rub the area until I see that most of the crayon is gone, then just rinse with a damp towel. The other thing I always like to mention whenever it comes to cleaning walls, if you have flat paint, you really can't wash that. The best thing to do is just repaint. Next question here is from It's Yvonne Renee. They ask, best way to clean your TV. My go-to for this is actually a 2-towel system, 1 microfiber towel that's damp with water only to clean, and then I come through with a dry microfiber towel to buff and dry the entire surface. Not only does this do a great job of getting it clean, but it also leaves it nice and streak-free for you as well. Sometimes once in a while you might run across a time when you got a little few fingerprints or smudges that this does not remove. For that, then I suggest just use about a drop of Dawn dish soap or any dish soap in a bottle with some water. Spray the towel first, then clean those areas, then come through with the damp towel to rinse and a dry microfiber towel to buff. So Mrs. McGinnis class asks a great question here, and that is, what is the one cleaning tool you cannot do without? This is a hard one, I gotta be real. There's so many that I love to use. I would say a few honorable mentions are number 1, the Scrub Daddy. Once I started using that, it's so versatile. I really don't wanna use any other type of sponge. The other thing that's a runner-up, I would say, is a drill brush scrubber. It's just a total game changer on how much it speeds up the overall cleaning process in a lot of different areas. If you haven't used one yet, give it a try. I think you'll love it. But the one thing I keep coming back to, the one I cannot do without, is probably just my green rubber gloves here. I use these on every single clean. You've probably seen them in most of my videos, but I just think it's really important to wear the proper PPE when cleaning. I'm coming across all sorts of dirt and grime and other people's spaces and things, and it's just nice to always wear gloves. That way, I'm not only protecting myself, but also my assets, which are my hands, which help me clean all the things. So Katie Amrine asks, some of my silverware is rusty. Any tips? The two things I suggest for that are either white vinegar or some barkeeper's friend, either soft cleanser or the powder. Both of those will work great on any sort of rust. So Detail Auto here asks, glass shower without chemicals. In Argentina, we don't have the same products. I gotta say right off the bat, I apologize. I do suggest a lot of US-based cleaning products, but for this, the one thing I would suggest that you should be able to get your hands on is 1 cup white vinegar, 1 cup water, and about a teaspoon of really any dish soap. What the dish soap is gonna do is a great job of cutting through any soap scum, and that vinegar is gonna help cut through the hard water as well. Spray it on, let it sit for a bit, and then come through and scrub with a non-scratch scrub sponge, and then rinse with some water. And I like to usually come through and buff with a microfiber towel, and you should be good to go. So Yancey Cook asks, hey Brandon, just wondering if you recommend Scotchguard to protect furniture. Really like this question. I might have maybe a mildly controversial answer. The last time I bought a sofa, the gentleman tried to pitch me on the protectant. Did I buy it? No. Because my answer is, I know how to clean furniture, so if something does spill on there, usually I can clean it up fast enough where it's not gonna cause an issue. That being said, if you want that kind of added protection, it's definitely worth it, because what happens with Scotchguard, or really any type of protectant, is it gives you time. Whatever's spilt on there, let's say it's red Kool-Aid on your white couch, it's gonna bubble up on the surface and not penetrate into the fibers themselves, allowing you time to go grab a towel or a little spotter machine to suck it up and clean it out. Now, it just depends. The one thing I will say that just kind of bugs me a little bit is it's so expensive, and it doesn't have to be. So if you don't want to pay maybe from like the furniture retailers for it, you can also just go to a big box store, buy a can, and do it yourself as well. But is it worth it? If you want the peace of mind to know that you have a few moments to go grab something to clean up a spot, I would say yes. So Shanks-a-Lot asks, how to remove dog hair from clothes? Sticky lint roller is not working. Now I actually just did a short on this hack a little while ago, but that is just simply a rubber glove. Put on the glove and then just kind of work in circular motions in the area where the dog hair is, or in my case, for the video I made, it was a bunch of sticky lint that kind of stuck to the actual sweatshirt. Just kind of work in a circular motion or just kind of rub across the surface very gently, and you'll kind of start to ball up. The other thing you could try is a cool little tool I like to use called a lily brush. Works great for furniture, but it also does a great job on clothes too. So Carol A. Kaufman asks, what to use to clean bathroom mirrors without streaks and smudges? Now when it comes to cleaner, I really like Spray Away Glass Cleaner. I think it does an amazing job, but the real secret sauce to no streaks and smudges is always a 2-towel system. 1 towel to use with the cleaner to, well, clean the mirror, but then always come through with a dry, clean microfiber towel to buff and dry the surface, and they should be left completely streak-free. Color and Style by Lisa asks, what's the best garbage disposal cleaner? Now there is a variety on the market, and I've used just about every single one, and I keep coming back to CLR's garbage disposal cleaner. Not only do they work great, but they also smell good too. Riley Fernandez asks, what vac for home with 2 dogs and 2 young boys, budget under $150? What I love to suggest is the Hoover Max Life Swivel. This vacuum, I think it's around like $130. Sometimes I've even seen it at Walmart for $99. It's a great vacuum. Actually, a while back I did a full deep clean on that exact vacuum. I have a few of them and I've really put them through their paces. Work really well, easy to fix too. If a belt breaks, just take off the bottom, you can replace it. Plus it's a canister, so you don't have to worry about buying bags for it. Check that one out, I think it will serve you well. So Brus5265 asks, how to clean wood floors, afraid to use anything but water. Now I actually just did a full how to clean your wood floors walkthrough video a couple weeks back. I'll put a link down in the description. Definitely check that out. Just a few quick things. I recommend either a neutral pH floor cleaner or Bona's wood floor cleaner. Those work great because they don't have any additives like wax or anything that's gonna leave a residue on your floor. And just never use vinegar on wood floor because it can break down over time. But definitely check out that video, link in the description below. So Carly FamFam asks, what's the best way to clean enameled Dutch cast iron pot? Super dirty cooking sourdough. So the 2 things I would try for this is either number 1, mix some baking soda and some water into a paste and then scrub the entire pot. Let it sit maybe overnight for a bit and then rinse. A lot of times that will take care of it. Now, if you want to use something a little bit more aggressive that probably will cut through it pretty easy, I'd also try some Barkeeper's Friend's soft cleanser. Does an awesome job on pretty much any pot and pan. So I got a lot of questions throughout this entire thread here about marble and how to clean marble or either natural type stones. There's a lot of different variables on how to clean marble, depending on if it's got hard water or if it's just normal routine cleaning. So I want to give just a few tips with all marble just to be mindful with, that way you won't cause any damage. Number one, never use any sort of acidic based cleaners like vinegar or anything that's on the acid side of the pH scale, because it will start to eat away and pit out the marble and natural stone and cause damage that unfortunately you really can't reverse. What I like to use is just a really gentle cleaner, whether it's neutral pH floor cleaner. Ecolabs makes a great one. You've probably heard me talk about that quite a bit. Or just simply a little bit of dish soap and some warm water goes a long way. Now, if you do have hard water buildup on, let's say like a shower, I would look into a specific marble or natural stone hard water cleaner. I know there's some brands on the market like Stone Tech and a few others that do a pretty decent job. I will say though, I found that they're kind of a case by case basis, depending on how hard your water is and where you are. Some that I've used work great on some showers and then not so great on the others. So it's a little trial and error. And I hate that answer, because I want to say do this and you're good to go. But just anytime I've dealt with natural stone, you got to be careful. It kind of takes a few different things sometimes. So I would start with just some basic soap and water, just very gentle, see how that works, and then kind of move up from there. So Chris E. Dick asks, what is safe to clean marble showers and bathroom tile but still disinfect? Now, it's actually safe to use isopropyl alcohol on most marble tiles. Usually the 70% is what I suggest if you want to disinfect. So you can spray that on, let it sit for a bit, and completely rinse the surface. Joel Bryan 3 asks, do you think hiring a professional for vent cleaning through the house is worth it? I would say yes, if you have the budget. Now, it's one of those things where there's a very powerful equipment, and you want the most powerful equipment in this type of process just so they can remove all the debris and anything that's in the vents and get it out of your house. I will say too, let's say you just bought a new home, it's always a good time to do it before you move in, because, well, not to be gruesome, who wants other people's dust, dead skin cells, dust particles, and hair blowing around your new home? Or if you even have really bad pet allergies and they had pets, it's a good time to get them nice and clean. Now, the last thing I will say is always look for the most highly reputable company in your area, just because you want to make sure that they're actually doing a good job and going to get them clean. This is an area that you can't necessarily see yourself, and sometimes some cleaners want you to just take their word for it, but you want to find the right company that's actually going to do an amazing job. So there you have it. Thanks so much for all the amazing questions. I always have a ton of fun doing these videos, and hopefully you can bring home a few tips and tricks to keep your space nice and clean. Now, I want to give a huge shout out to the Clean Squad members over on Patreon. Thank you so much for the continued support of the channel. And if you want to learn more about the Patreon, check the link down in the description below.